How's it going, everyone? A new week means a new North Dakota Varsity Sports update, but not a new host. Sorry, you're stuck with me. Jody Norstedt here to catch you up on what's happening across the state on the hardwood and on the ice. On this week's episode, a dynamic duo that's been money for Mandan.
We have this connection. We always know where each other are.
Other people's fun is going to shopping or whatever, and our idea of fun is being in the gym, just having a ball in our hands.
We caught up with Brave seniors Megan Zander and Kennedy Harris. Hear how they've grown their game together from the playground to the varsity stage. Plus, where are the eyeballs looking this week? Upset City, a team with more fire than any other, and much more. But we start with our games of the week. We have one from the ice and one from the hardwood, both from the east, but we'll touch on the west in a bit. Undefeated and top-ranked Grand Forks Central has been unstoppable in boys hockey this season, but the Davies Eagles have been right in the hunt for that second seed, and we're hoping to give the Knights a tough test on their home ice this past Thursday. I put Davies in my Lookin At You segment last week because they've come the closest to knocking off the Titans from Central. I thought maybe it would light a fire under them, but early on it was the fresh goalie giving them some fire. John Wistia getting the nod in net instead of Jared Winter, and the junior held his own. He was getting peppered the entire first period, but he stopped all 16 shots he faced. Davies didn't have its first shot on net until the final minute of the first period, but it was still 0-0 after one. Hockey is a crazy game, isn't it? Things escalate quickly, though, in the second. Cole Hansen gets the chip pass and does the rest, beating the goalie high glove, and it's 1-0 Central. He has a state-leading 27 goals this season already. A little bit later, it's Central again. Peter Loyland from the point, his first goal of the year. But Davies responds. It's Cade Stibbe poking it from the defenseman, and then it's a race to the puck, and the Arizona State commit wins it easily and then beats the goalie with a terrific move, cutting the lead to 1. 12 goals on the year now for Stibbe. But back come the Knights. They get 3 more before the second intermission. First, it's Cole Spicer to Parker Stroh. Then it's Stroh to William Lawson-Body. And then how about this mouthful? It's Cole Spicer to Chase Spicer. And then eventually Cole Spicer cleans up the rebound to make it 5-1 Knights heading to the third. After not finding the back of the net in period 1, Central still wins big, 7-1 to remain undefeated.
Yeah, it feels good because the last couple times they've kept us not scoring very many goals, and finally we broke through and we kind of showed what type of team we are tonight, that we can score a lot of goals on anyone.
From this game, we need to learn how to play a consistent game, and we learn how to play a solid game. We need to play the whole game. And playing fierce competitors like the Davies are, it's important for our team so we can learn and grow and play at a higher competition.
So where does that leave us in the standings? It continues to be Central and everybody else. 2 through 4 is going to be interesting. You could argue that South Shanley has been the hottest team of the three. The Bruins had won 9 of 10 before losing to Central 9-0 last night, but they have wins over Davies and Red River in the month of January. More on them in a bit. The EDC tournament, guys, should be wild. And don't forget that Mayport CG, who's playing an independent schedule, will be the 10 seed in the conference tournament. The Ice Dogs, great nickname, are 14-3-1 this season and have a trio of 20-goal scorers led by Reese Gross, 32 goals on the year. As for the WDA scene, Bismarck and Century have some breathing room for the top 2 spots. Jamestown, Dickinson, Mandan, and Minot look like they'll battle it out for those other high seeds in the conference tournament. The Blue Jays have won 5 of 6 on the ice. Let's head to the hardwood, where we had Red River coming down south to take on EDC co-leader West Fargo Sheyenne in boys basketball on Friday night. The Mustangs were coming off a 9-point win over Fargo North, trying to keep things rolling against a Red River team that had won 6 of its last 7. Early in the first, Cheyenne's defense leads to offense. Ryan Reynolds with the steal, Tyler Terhark with the finish. Cheyenne up 6-0. Then it's Christian Kuntz getting his offense going. And the next time down, it's going to be Charles DuBois finishing at the rim, and it's 10-0 Cheyenne before Red River gets a chance to blink. But the Rough Riders slowly start to get comfortable. Brady Dvorak threads the needle to Jackson Feller, and then it's Bryce Enerson soaring to the basket for the nice finish. Enerson scores 11. But back at the other end, it's Kuntz finishing through contact. This is just an athletic play, and it sends Cheyenne into halftime with a 9-point lead. In the second half now, Red River keeping it close. William Obioha knocks down the triple. He paced the Riders with 20 points. And then Enerson gets the steal and takes it the length of the floor. Rough Riders end up cutting the lead to just one. The visiting fans hoping for the upset. But Terhart gets back-to-back buckets. Look at the hard work down low. He pushes the lead back to 5 with just under 5 remaining. Under 3 minutes now. Brady Dvorak steps into one for Red River and buries the 3. And the Rough Riders are down by just 3 again. But for every Rough Rider punch, the Mustangs had a counterpunch. Kuntz, the 4-year starter, puts a nail in it. He scores 24 points to help the Mustangs pick up the gritty 68-61 win. And as we enter the second half of the season, Cheyenne knows things are about to get tougher.
Yeah, it's the second time through the schedule, like you said. It's the first time we're just getting warmed up, and this is the time where we want to be playing our best basketball into March, into the state tournament. So right now we're just looking to build some momentum as we go forward to that second half of our season.
It's not just one scorer on our team. We have everyone's a scorer on our team. We have a bunch of different leading scorers each game, so that just makes us a stronger team.
Well, I thought tonight we did a better job defensively. The other night we didn't do a very good job of playing defense. But if we could cut down on our turnovers, and tonight I thought we did a good job. Now it just comes down to learning time and situation, learning crucial situations.
The Cheyenne victory helps them keep pace with Davies at 12-1 overall and 11-1 in conference play. West Fargo and Wahpeton sit 3rd and 4th respectively. That'll make for a big game Thursday night with the Packers traveling to Wahpeton. The Huskies have won 6 of their last 7 and are hoping to avenge a 73-58 loss to the Pack back in early December. In the WDA, Jamestown continues to roll, but look out for Mandan in Century. I think their schedules for the next few weeks set up really nice for them to gain momentum. The Braves have won 4 straight and now play 4 straight against teams with losing records. But if they make a mistake, I think the Patriots could be right there to take the second place spot away from them. Century is done playing Jamestown in the regular season, and they don't play on the road again until the final 2 games of the regular season at Mandan and Minot, which could end up being massive games down the stretch. Cade Feeney, boy, has he provided a huge boost for the Patriots since returning to the lineup earlier this month. Had about 30 points the other night, a couple 20-point games. He's been great. All right. Now it's time to let you know what is catching my eye. Even though I just gave you a few things, but these, of course, are more official because we've got this fancy graphic here. It's time for Looking at You. In Larimore boys basketball, I'm looking at you. It has been a wild ride for the Polar Bears, who opened the year with a 6-game win streak, but then lost 4 of their next 5. I will say, though, 2 of those losses were to state-ranked teams. Then you come out on Monday and totally redeem yourselves. The Polar Bears froze up top-ranked Thompson enough to pick up the 64-63 win. Here's a look at some of those highlights sent in by Larimore principal Cal Triplett. Luke Tupa scored a game-high 31 points in the win. Head coach Jennifer Carlson made some changes to the starting lineup, and it all clicked. So congrats to Larimore. Congrats to Mr. Tupa, because he has a game ball coming his way. That's a huge win. On a side note, how nuts will the Region 2 tournament be? I mean, here are the standings. Larimore is currently in 6th place in the region. Grafton, who is receiving votes in this week's state poll, is unbeaten in region play. And then you have Thompson and Hillsborough Central Valley, who were number 1 and number 2 when Monday's poll came out. Cavalier began the week ranked 8th in the state. Find your way to the Betty Engelstad Sioux Center in early March for that region. Who's next? I'm looking at you, Devils Lake girls basketball team. We haven't talked much about them on the Varsity Sports Update yet, but they definitely deserve a shout out because of the dominant run they've been putting together in the EDC. The Firebirds are 12-0 and outscoring teams by an average of, get this, 37 points per game. Is that good? Their toughest game since Christmas was a 30-point road victory at Cheyenne. Returning all EDC performers, Jess Mertens and Matea Betch have led the way, along with a number of other contributors. On top of scoring nearly 80 points per game, Justin Klein has preached relentless pressure on defense, and that's helped them average just over 20 steals a night.
We do a lot of running in practice, but that makes us in shape for the games because we are going at a very fast speed the whole game and we are pressing a lot, so we have to be in shape for that.
Our defense for sure makes us the toughest to beat. We keep the pressure on.
up top and get as many steals as we can and cause turnovers from other teams. So that's our main offense, is steals and our transition buckets.
We have 4 kids in double figures, anywhere from 11 to 13 or 11, 12, 13 points a game. I think our 5th girl is at 9. So balance overall scoring, I think we do a good job within the system or the offense with getting open shots. We play transition basketball and like to push the tempo.
It's getting to the point where you wonder what Devils Lake would be able to do against Century or Mandan from the West. They lost to the Braves last year in the state quarterfinal round, but this Firebirds defense is such a machine right now. But first things first for Devils Lake, the Firebirds host 2nd place Shanley tomorrow night. Devils Lake won the meeting in Fargo by 18. My last Looking at You goes to that South Shanley boys hockey team. I know they got hammered pretty good by Central last night, but this Bruins team has been able to surprise some people, I think. They're 10-5 overall and sit in 3rd place in the conference and have won 9 of their last 11 now. Zach Sandy has done a nice job in between the pipes, and they do just enough to get wins. It's usually a close game, but it's those kind of victories that can carry over into good results come postseason time. Switching gears now, Batman and Robin, Mario and Luigi, Midco and high-speed internet. They're all great duos, and let's hope that last one gets me a raise. When it comes to North Dakota high school hoops, the duo of Zander and Harris will go down as one of the all-time greats in North Dakota. Together, Megan Zander and Kennedy Harris have helped build Mandan into a state title contender, increasing the team's win total each year since joining the varsity squad as 8th graders. Individually, they're both pretty talented, but they got to this point together.
When people think Mandan girls basketball right now, the first people that come to mind are Kennedy and Megan. And
we have this connection. We always know where each other are.
Other people's fun is going to shopping or whatever, and our idea of fun is being in the gym, just having a ball in our hands.
Mandan seniors Kennedy Harris and Megan Zander aren't sisters, but they're as close as it gets, and it's been that way since they first became teammates in elementary school.
We were playing the older girls, our older Mandan girls, and then we were there's no way we beat them, and then we both played our best games ever, and I passed to her and she hit the buzzer beater, and it was the best game of our lives.
When we would host camps and things like that, they would always play together, and they would always be attending the camps together, and you could always just see something special between them, even when they were young.
That's a big reason why Coach Thomas put them on the fast track to varsity. Both Kennedy and Megan made the move up as 8th graders, each with their own unique experience.
I was very nervous. I was playing with girls that I watched the year before and I looked up to, and I was like, this is crazy. I'm playing with girls that I thought were famous last year, and then after I got going in practice with them, it was more comfortable. And
that's a big step, going from 7th grade ball to varsity ball in 1 year, and she just did such a good job of adjusting and figuring out what she could do on the varsity versus what she couldn't do anymore, and had to make adjustments there.
Zander, though, gets around her boy.
In 8th grade, I think I was a lot more timid and kind of nervous because I was very young compared to everybody else, so I didn't really try to do as many new things that I do now.
We've even said ever since she was an 8th grader, as soon as she steps on the floor, she's a different animal, and she just really gets after it, and that's where she feels comfortable and feels like that's her strength.
The challenge is finding a weakness in Zander's game. In a couple of months, she'll likely join rare company by being named a first-team All-State selection for the 3rd time. She's filling up the stat sheet, averaging 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 2.5 steals per game. Meanwhile, Harris is regarded as an elite point guard in the state, averaging 18 points herself to go with 4 assists and 2.5 steals per contest.
Harris gets the screen from Zander. She's going to hit from 3 again.
I'm proud of how I've come through all the years and how much better I've gotten, not only offensively but especially defensively throughout the years. And I'm proud of Megan too, and just what we have together is something that I'll remember the rest of my life.
We'll see if Zander and Harris can finish the final chapter of their playing days together with a state title. The Braves were runner-up last year to Bismarck Century. We could very well be headed towards a rematch in that Class A final. But again, don't sleep on Devil's Lake. And I should mention, Kennedy and Megan said they've only played without each other once. That was last year when Megan was sick for a road game at Turtle Mountain. They will be playing separately next year no matter what, as Megan has signed to play at UND and Kennedy is bound for Aberdeen to play for Northern State. So we'll be hearing their names for years to come on Midco Sports Network. That does it for our time on this week's North Dakota Varsity Sports Update. Big thanks to our crew, Zach Hoffner, Kelly and Joe Hetzel, helping get a lot of that video. I'm Jody Norstedt, and we'll see you again next week.